Linda, and welcome to my channel, A Therapized Life. On my channel, I've decided that I'm going to start doing some different mini-series when I bring out various topics. That way, it won't be just topic all over the place, but it'll be clumped together in more concise little mini-series that are more easily able to be followed along, and it makes for a more enjoyable and easy to follow content experience, I guess you can say. For this first set of videos, I've decided to focus on mental health. So it'll be a series of 5 videos that focuses on very specific topics inside of mental health. This first video today is going to focus specifically on the stigma of mental health. Dun, dun, dun. No, but seriously, there's a lot of stigma behind mental health, which affects people from wanting to seek mental health or people's thoughts when they think about mental health. So we're going to deep dive into that and go into 3 specific points. Number 1, what exactly is the stigma of mental health? Number 2, where does that stigma come from? And number 3, how do we fix it? So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, then just keep watching. Let's get started. So what exactly is a stigma? Well, according to the Oxford Dictionary, a stigma is a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. And with mental health, a lot of times a stigma causes you to see someone in a negative way due to their mental illness. This a lot of times further leads to discrimination where you treat someone in a negative way because of their mental illness. Let me give you a little bit of an example. Say someone goes to jail. The stigma about that person is, oh no, they're a bad person. They went to jail. Something's wrong with them. Because of that stigma, when you're back around that person or near that person, you now begin to discriminate. You hold your purse a little tighter. You're kind of a little nervous around them, like, I don't want them to hurt me or steal something from me because they're clearly a bad person. Similar things happen in mental health. So a lot of times it causes people to view somebody a certain way because they have a quote-unquote mental condition, which further causes them to be treated differently than other people just because of their mental health disorder. So now we move on to the second point, which is what causes the stigma. The stigma is usually caused by 4 main points. The first of which is lack of awareness. A lot of time people are not even aware that they have a stigma about mental health. So if they're not even aware that they have preconceived notions or thoughts or ideas, they don't know that they need to adjust those thoughts or ideas. Second one, a lot of times, is lack of education. They don't know a lot about mental health. They don't really know what it is or what it looks like. So due to that, they just go off of how they think it is versus having the true information to know what mental health is, what it encompasses, what the symptoms look like, etc., etc. The third thing that affects it is lack of perception. Perception is the way that a person views something. And a lot of times it's impacted by family upbringing. This is in fact affected by culture and things of that nature. So for example, if you're brought up in a family system where mental health is very well known and you discuss it and things like that, then your perception of somebody who's crying or tearful is, oh, they're depressed, they're in crisis, let me help them, because in your family you've grown up to surround each other and make sure everybody's doing well. On the flip side of that though, if you're brought up in a culture where there's not much discussion of mental health and you're supposed to be strong and crying is a sign of weakness, then if somebody's crying or in distress, you look at them like, what's wrong with that person? They need to get it together. And you're not prone to have the sympathy that might be necessary for that person because they might be going through some type of mental health crisis. So a lot of times too, the way somebody perceives things directly affects the way that they understand and view the world, especially in regards to mental health. And the fourth thing is the nature of the symptoms that come along with mental. A lot of times mental health has complications and different symptoms that people don't always understand. For example, there's odd behaviors, there's psychosis, there can be aggression. And if people don't fully understand that maybe this person is over here talking to themselves because they're in some type of psychiatric crisis, they're like, what's wrong with that person? I'm not going over there. And then they seem to, again, form the stigmas or preconceived notions, not realizing that it's just some additional help that this person needs to treat a health condition, as opposed to, that person's just crazy. So, how do we fix these stigmas? So that brings us to our third and final point, which is to how do we address or how do we get rid of this mental health stigma? Well, according to the Center for Addiction and Medication Health and Medical Health Management, there are 7 steps we can do to kind of try to help reduce that stigma of mental health. The first one being educating ourselves and learning about mental health diseases and mental health disorders. The more we educate ourselves, the more we know about these things, the better prepared we are to deal with them when they happen in our own lives and anyone around us that we care about. So by educating ourselves, then we're better able to provide them with resources or be a resource for them if we notice them having some type of mental health struggle. The second thing we can do is being aware of our own attitudes and our own behaviors. It's amazing how much people are not self-aware of what's going on around themselves. By being aware that maybe you have some misconstrued mental health stigmas yourself, or having some misguided views on mental health care, by being aware of these things, then you're better able to make adjustments. Or when you feel yourself having that thing, you can stop yourself and say, hey, wait, let me fix this and let me make sure I'm being more positive to help have a better view of mental health overall. Okay. Third thing we can do is to speak more positively when it comes to mental health. Mental health a lot of times is spoken of in a very, very negative light. It's viewed as a thing to be embarrassed of, a thing to shy away from or want to push to the side. So if we can speak more positively about mental health and speak of the positive things they can do when people improve and work on their mental health, then it helps make it more mainstream, more accepted, and people aren't so afraid to deal with and address those issues. The fourth thing we can do is that we can educate other people. Again, education, education, education. It's so key. This helps in so many ways, because if we can educate others, then that way it can also help change their views or help them learn more. And the cycle continues and the cycle continues, because the more that this person can educate this person, it can also help change family views, change generational views, affect cultural views, because everybody's learning more information and learning how important mental health really is, instead of the preconceived notions that was passed down from generation to generation to generation. Okay. The sixth thing we can do is we can support people. In other words, being that person that somebody can count on. Sometimes, again, in a lot of these situations, people don't feel like they have support. So by knowing that they have support in us, then they do feel more comfortable to admit when they're feeling down, to admit their struggles, or to be willing to seek the treatment that is necessary, because they know that they're going to be supported instead of ostracized or pushed to the side by friends and loved ones. Okay. And the seventh thing we can do is we can include everyone. So in other words, something we can have conversations with our kids when they're little, teaching them about the importance of not only taking care of our physical bodies, but our mental health as well. You know, doing things like self-care and sleep and all the other things to make sure we're okay. And also teaching everyone as well that when things happen, hey, there's nothing wrong with taking time out for yourself or to talk to someone or therapy if that's necessary. And again, sometimes you can teach an old dog new trick. There's nothing wrong with teaching our parents or older people also about ways, including them in things about mental health. And again, shifting some of that generational culture and things we're learning, where before mental health has been viewed as a negative thing. Well, that's all for this video, guys. The next video in this series, or part 2, is going to be talking about doing a mental health check-in. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe down below. And if you enjoyed the content, please give it a like. Also, if you can please hit that notification bell as well, and that'll make it so you are notified whenever I upload new videos. And if you're interested in what made me even interested in starting this channel, or made me want to pursue this journey of putting out all these videos for you guys, then just check it right here in the cards above, and you'll be able to click to my first video where I give an introduction about my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.